Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am currently using my light therapy box, so please excuse the extreme lighting on my face. It's a new week and I have been really into playing Sims, as you may know if you saw my last vlog. But I don't want to burn myself out. I did get some new content recently, and I can feel myself getting to the point where I've played it a little bit too much. I fixated on it a little bit too much, and I need to move on and do some other things. I have been off my medication purely because I had to get it refilled, and then I haven't gone and picked the refill up. And I really need to, because I started an episode this morning, a PMDD episode if you're new here, and I don't know how this one is going to go, especially because I feel like I have been using my fixation for the past couple of weeks to mask some of my feelings and to kind of suppress some of my feelings. So I don't know emotionally how this week is going to go, but I want to set myself up for success. So that being said, today hopefully I will be going to the library and getting my medication. Then other than that, I really want to focus on reading and doing some other non-Sims related hobbies. I know I've been saying that in the past couple of videos and I haven't, but I really want to focus on that. So I think I'm going to put myself on a time limit of I can only watch an hour's worth of Sim videos and I can only play an hour's worth of Sims every day. And I can't stack. So if I don't play Sims one day, I can't then play 2 hours the next day, etc. And we'll see how that goes. The hour of Sims, it's probably just going to be while I'm at the gym because I like to watch YouTube videos and things while I'm working out. So that's probably where the hour is going to come in. But regardless, I think I'm going to start that tomorrow because obviously today I'm not at work. And so it's a little bit harder to distract myself with stuff. But anyways, it is 9 a.m. I think I'm going to get ready. The library opens at 1, so I think I'm gonna get ready about 12:30, and then for the rest of the morning, sounds like it's raining. For the rest of the morning, I'm probably gonna spend a little bit of time playing Sims. I'm still working on the same family that I mentioned in my last couple of vlogs. They now have another child, and they have moved out, even though I think I'm gonna move them back into their old neighborhood. But hopefully it's a good week. I hope you enjoy the vlog. I hope you've been enjoying the vlogs. We're about to get a lot more vlogs just with my content schedule, so I hope you enjoy them. But let's get into it. Let's have a good week and see how it goes. So this is the fit, just this matching cloud set. My Vans are covered in mud from work last week, so I probably will just wear some boots or something. Library time. Okay, we are back home and we're about to get a freaking massive storm, so I'm so glad that we got home in time. There's so many down trees and stuff in my area, and the wind is just insane. But I went a little out there with all of my books. I got 15, so let's just do a quick little haul, I guess. So first up, we have the short story collection of The Witcher. I know that this is 0.0 or 0.5 or whatever in this series, and I don't know if this was published first, but I do know in the reading order you should start with this. It's The Last Wish. I'm not convinced that I'm going to love the novels because of the really bad misogyny and how terribly this author writes female characters, so we'll see. But I figured the short story collection is probably the way to start, and I'm pretty sure my library has most, if not all, of the books in this series. So we all know the story of The Witcher, played the video games, watched the show, really like it. we'll see how I enjoy the books. Then we have this romance that I've actually never heard of, but it was on the new releases shelf, and it's Love at First Book, which seems to be a romance between a librarian, quaint Irish village, and an annoyingly handsome mercurial Irishman. So that sounds very cute. I haven't read anything by this author before. Don't know anything else that they've written. This says best-selling author of summer reading. Haven't heard of it, so sounds like it could be cute. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to be saying that for all of these. Next up, I got The Awakening by Nora Roberts. This is the first book in the Dragonheart legacy. I have not read anything by Nora Roberts, but my mom has, and she said that she's quite a good author, and I know that people really love her. So I think just assuming that it might have to do with dragons, who's to say? We'll see how it goes, and I might find an author / series that I really love. So next up we have Practice Makes Perfect, and I actually have another book by this author, and it is The Rule Book. Everybody loves Sarah Adams. I haven't read anything by her yet, and so I picked up the 2 books that my library had, and also the 2 that I probably heard the most about. One second, my cat. What are we messing with? Nope. Okay, it is getting quite dark in here very fast, so we're gonna try to go quick, but I got The Screaming Staircase, which is part of the Lockwood & Co. series. So sad that this series got canceled, the TV show. Loved it so much. Wanted to check out the books. It is YA, or middle grade, I'm not sure. It says YA on the side, but I loved the series. It's basically about like ghost hunters and stuff, so excited for that. We have Gideon the Ninth, which is an extremely popular fantasy. I think it's sapphic, and I think it's like a coven of women. Necromancers, and I think she's undead. Necromantic skeletons. Sounds good, excited for that. Again, how many times do I need to say that? We have A Deadly Education. I haven't read anything by this. I do know it's like dark academia. Not a big dark academia fan, as I have said several times on this channel. However, I've heard that this author's writing is really beautiful. I know not many people loved this one from them, but we're gonna give it a shot. Then we have Half a King by Joe Abercrombie. His most popular series is the First Law trilogy, which I do want to read, but I don't have it readily available. So I saw this on the shelf and decided to check it out. The Half a King, it's the first book in a series. It follows multiple points of view. It says, I swore an oath to avenge the death of my father. I may be half a man, but I swore a whole oath. The deceived will become the deceiver. The betrayed will become the betrayer. Will the usurped become the usurper? We have Other Birds. I have actually never heard anything about this, but I saw the spine and was very intrigued. This says, it's an enchanting tale of lost souls, lonely strangers, secrets that will shape us, and how the right flock can guide you home. Delightful and atmospheric, Other Birds is filled with magical realism and moments of pure love that won't let you go. I think she takes over her deceased mother's apartment, and she like meets some new neighbors, and she gets involved in a murder mystery and stuff. So, and we also have The Three-Body Problem. This and another book I'm about to talk about I have checked out so many times, not only from Kindle Unlimited but from my library. I adore the TV show. This is like First Contact with Aliens, funky timeline stuff. Sounds cool. Then we have In the Lives of Puppets. I have read most of the books in this series, I believe, and this one seems to be set in a forest, and it's an extraordinary journey of a family assembled from spare parts. I think it's about robots. And then the other one that I keep checking out for my library and not reading is Empire of the Vampire. This is vampires. It's very long. My location did have the second one, and it's much shorter, which is a little bit concerning. So we'll see. I have read the first book in this author's other really popular series, the Nevernight whatever, and I'm interested to see how I feel about a vampire novel from him. So last two, We have The Wren and the Holy Library, another one that I have checked out many, many times from Kindle Unlimited. This one is Can You Love the Dark When You Know What It Hides? 13 years ago, monsters emerged from the shadows. In the wake of the carnage, the monster treaty was created. A truce. She'll enter the Holy Library, not knowing it's the home of a monster. He's charming. I think there's a romance. We'll see. And then the last one that I don't know how I'm gonna like it, but again, obviously we're gonna give it a shot. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. The point of view of a girl living in New York, and she like is roaming around at 3 a.m. and she stumbles across a bunch of giant statues that have like crazy craftsmanship, compulsively entertaining and powerfully relevant. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing grapples with big themes, including how the social internet is changing fame, rhetoric, and radicalization, how our culture deals with fear and uncertainty, and how vilification and adoration spring from the same dehumanization that follows a life in the public eye. Excited for that. As I have said, I'm excited for all of these. We will be reading them despite me having tons of reading vlogs, not including these books that I really should be getting to, but that is the life of a reader when you go to the library, unfortunately. But that being said, I didn't realize that I actually have off tomorrow. Point in saying that is that I will be playing Sims for the rest of the day because I've been playing my current family. So I started with 2 people. The woman died. The husband got remarried. They now have 2 kids. This is in the Growing Together world with the Growing Together pack, obviously. And there's like a new way to like sim with your family or whatever, which I'm a huge family simmer. That's like my shit. I was obsessed with family simming in Sims 2, and Sims 4 has felt very empty, whereas Sims 2, it felt like there was a lot of like interaction and stuff. But the Get Together pack introduced like a ton of new stuff, and there's a lot of like base game stuff that they changed as well. But I moved my family into a new house, and I also moved in mom's father and mother to help them take care of the children. So I have been making like little changes and stuff just to like take care of the family. So I wanted to play with like all generations of kids, because I have, obviously the parents are like young adults or adults, grandparents are elderly, and then we have a toddler and an infant. So I do plan on growing the family more. They do all have the big family aspiration, so I want to do like a generations save file where I just like go through multiple generations of the family. So that's kind of like my goal with where I'm at with Sims. I never really had the push to do a generations, but I've been getting really, like I said, really into Sims, and I have basically remodeled all of my worlds and put in like a bunch of really cool saves and lots from the gallery, because other people are just so freaking creative and I love to see it. So I'm just very excited about the game right now. All that is to say is that I will probably be gaming for just a few more hours today. I say that, but it's probably going to be all day. But my plan for this week, I think, and this vlog is going to go, this is going to be like a 2-part vlog. So you're going to see this one, and then I probably will be doing the same thing in the next one. My plan is to do the challenge where you do reading instead of screen time. So like you take your screen time from the week previous, and the average and or the daily amounts is how much you do for that day. But instead of reading, we're gonna do all hobbies. Let me go to like my screen time from last week. So my average screen time was 5 hours and 16 minutes. Now, if you'll look, my highest used app is YouTube with 24 hours and 9 minutes. Obviously that's a lot, but like YouTube and Twitch, which is 1 hour and 18 minutes down the list, is my main source of entertainment. I don't have social media or anything. All I have is YouTube, and I'm constantly watching YouTube. So I'm not trying to like get my time down, especially when it comes to YouTube, because I do watch so much stuff on my phone. But my average for last week was 5 hours and 15 minutes, or 16 minutes. Every day I'm gonna have 5 hours and 16 minutes to do a hobby. So that is either going to be video planning, or creating things for videos, or editing, or playing a video game, whether that's like Sims or Marvel Rivals with my partner, or reading, watching TV, anything like that. I'll have that many hours in the day. And I'm not going to pre-plan how many hours I'm gonna spend on each thing. So if I want to spend like 5 hours in my day playing Sims, I can do that, but I can't do any more than that. So hopefully that will like get me into a little bit of variety and I won't just spend 5 hours every day playing Sims, but I think that's what I want to do. And then we'll like see how I feel about my week at the end of the week. So that being said, I've gamed for like 5 hours. I've gamed for like 2 hours already on The Sims before I went to the library. So I still have like 3 hours and some change to go. So I think my plan is to game for at least another hour. I'm going to set a timer, and then once that hour is up, I'm going to see how I feel about what other things that I want to do, because I still want to watch my show. I still want to read, obviously, and journal and all of that. So we'll see where I'm at. It's 2 o'clock now. So at 3 o'clock, I'm going to check in with you guys and we're going to talk through where I'm at. But we're going to get into Sims and I'm going to have a grand old time. If you can hear the wind kicking up. I have all of the windows open because it's finally nice enough outside to have the windows open, but it's quite windy, so hopefully this little mic doesn't pick up all of the wind noise. But it's time for me to journal. I'm taking a break from The Sims. It is almost 5 o'clock and I played pretty much the whole time. I did want to clarify the challenge that I'm doing. Obviously I can do more things after the 5.5 hours, but if I have a full day and I've done one activity for 5 hours, I can't do it anymore, if that makes sense. So if I play The Sims for 5 hours and 16 minutes, then I have to stop after that. It's just to keep me from fixating on something and then burning myself out. But I need to do some journaling, so I thought we could go over my current journal spread. It is the 16th of February, so I do have quite a few days and stuff in this journal. I think the last time I gave you guys an update, I had my monthly spreads where I was doing a countdown or a little what I did that day in each monthly spread, but I've actually changed that and I'll kind of show it to you guys. But I am now keeping a mood tracker. I started this in the beginning of February. My key is optimistic, good, productive, neutral, relaxed, exhausted, depressed, bored, and anxious. And kind of my mantra for the year is don't borrow tomorrow's problems. So I filled out my moods and I hope to have this fully filled out. It works for me. It's a quick little thing that I can write in, and my moods tend to not change too terribly much from day to day. Sometimes I will have mood swings, but usually if I'm feeling bad one week, it's multiple days. So if I sit down and I realize that I've missed a day, I can be okay, well, I've been feeling bad the past couple of days, so I can kind of backfill it. But I'm liking it thus far. At the moment, I plan to continue using it, but we'll see. I did keep my monthly journals in here as sort of a reminder that this doesn't work, but also if I decide to go back to something like this or to use something like this later, I don't want to waste paper by then re-downloading or reprinting the monthly whatever. They don't look that great, and I think that's part of the reason why I haven't used them, but I'd rather them look ugly and not be wasteful. So obviously you guys have seen a couple of my spreads. I've really gone through and used a ton of the stickers that I was getting from the Sticky Club, and I really hated the way that the stickies made these look, and I was just using them to use them. I wasn't being very intentional with it, so that kind of sparked the new way that I'm journaling. I am still doing the monthly or the daily spreads where I go in and I talk about what I've enjoyed. We can go into today's or last Friday's journal entry, we have kind of talking about what I did that day, what I watched, what I played, how I was feeling. And then in addition to that, and we have like some different spreads set up in different ways, which I have been exploring as well. And then in addition to that, I've been doing weekly planners where I write down every single thing that I did that day, from when I woke up to when I went to bed. And I've also been introducing these things where I kind of commonplace my journal a little bit. This is something that I have been wanting to do as a separate journal, but I thought, why not just do it here? So for example, this is the spread that I did for Luma Island, which I did a first impressions video of, and I kind of wrote down my thoughts having played it. And then I have one for Traveler's Rest, which I will also be doing a first impressions for later in the year. So I have these spreads to kind of commiserate that, and also as sort of like a commonplace journal. And then we get into my current weekly planner. And the intention is to use this section as sort of like a collage of how my week went. I haven't used it, I don't think, that way since I started, but I would like to give it a try occasionally whenever I'm feeling up to it. The thing is like my daily pages are quite collagey. Like we have a mix of the photos and the thoughts of the photos and all of that, so it's a little bit redundant, but I still want to like get the visual aspect of that in. And then I guess the other thing that I can talk about is the reading setup that I did. So I do have a monthly medias page. I did one for January. Let me see if I can find it. That looks like this, this was just when I was doing books, but now I'm also doing books, TV, games, all of that. I didn't read a ton last month, but I do have this page and I'm going to continue to do this page. However, I was doing individual reviews with ratings and all of that for each book that I was reading in the month. And I don't like doing reviews on Goodreads, and so I just wasn't really called to do them in a journal. I've never really liked keeping a reading journal, so I just don't think that that's something that I'm going to use this for in general. Such a big part of like my content and my creativity is books, and I don't necessarily want my journal to be just a repetitive thing of reading. So I do need to do some journaling. I need to update my Sunday block, and I need to update some other stuff. So we're going to do that. I might do some iPad work. If you are new and you've never seen my journal before, I do all of this digitally, and then I print it on A5 paper and obviously put it in my binder. But all of these, as you can tell, are done digitally in Canva. And so I want to go in and do my daily pages for today. So let's update this and get in Canva and do today's journal entry. So I did spend yesterday evening mostly playing The Sims. Allotted my 5 hours to The Sims, and then I got off and decided to watch some TV and read a little bit. I was reading for other videos, and I also started Half a King. But before we talk about that, I am 4 episodes into Once Upon a Time. I was inspired to rewatch this when I read a book for my Monster Romance video. I watched Once Upon a Time forever ago when I was a teenager. I absolutely loved it. I was obsessed because how could I not be? And so I wanted to rewatch it. I'm 4 episodes in, and honestly, I forgot how good Regina and Rumpelstiltskin's acting is. Just like incredible. So I'm really enjoying my rewatch so far. I'm not someone that can typically sit through like a standard 42-minute, 50-minute TV show episode. I have very strong ADHD, and sometimes I can't sit through an episode. So the past couple I was able to sit through, like when I went to bed, I was able to like sit down and actually watch an episode. But depending on my mood, I'll either watch like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, most of it, and then come back to it, whatever. But I'm 4 episodes in, and I definitely plan to continue. I don't remember how much of it I watched when I was a teen. I definitely didn't watch all of it. But regardless, I also started Half a King. I think I got like 20 pages into this. This is essentially about Yarvi, who is forced to become the king of his kingdom after his brother and his father are murdered. And he's been training to be a minister, and he never really thought that he was going to become king. And he is very heavily made fun of because he is missing the fingers on his right hand, I believe. And now he's thrust into this position having to be a king. I don't really know how old he is. I'm not really liking this a lot. Some of the reviews that I read, I do agree with already that this is like very boring and like very stereotypical fantasy, and I'm just not in the mood for that. I've been reading fantasy for a long time at this point, and I'm just not gonna give my energy to stories that are just, the typical, unless it has like a romance or something that I'm really gonna enjoy. But in this, he's marrying his cousin. So that being said, I'm gonna move on to The Awakening by Nora Roberts. I'm excited for this one. It seems like it's going to be a little bit of an urban setting, which I enjoy. So I'm in my little reading nook bed area. I have my cats with me, and I'm just going to watch Once Upon a Time and read a little bit. I spent the morning playing Sims, and I am simmed out. So we're going to spend the rest of the day reading, and I hope to make a good portion into this and get my feelings. So as you can tell, I'm at work, but I will be leaving in the next hour or so. I thought we could do a quick update. I ended up settling on Lockwood & Co. I got 55 pages in, and I'm really liking this. It's definitely following the TV show pretty well. And I like the writing style. I like the banter between the characters. I feel like this is going to be a series that I reach for again and again. I don't know how many books there are in the series. Okay, it looks like there's 5, with some like novellas and stuff. I felt very unsatisfied with the way that the TV show ended, so I'm definitely excited to see how the storyline goes. I love this world. I think it's so interesting how there's like a apocalypse of ghosts that basically halts all like changes in the world, and it's like a gothic London feeling that I really enjoy, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I'm also very much obsessed with Once Upon a Time, really enjoying what I'm reading, really enjoying what I'm watching, and I don't even really want to play The Sims, to be honest. So I'm gonna wrap up the stuff that I have to do here, and then we're gonna head home. I do have to return some books to the library, so I thought we could talk about them real quick. So first up, obviously you know that I DNF'd Half a King. We already talked about that, but I also tried to read The Awakening and Deadly Education, and I didn't like the writing style for either of these for various reasons. So Deadly Education was like reading a textbook. It was just like info dump for the first like 30 pages and a lot of like stream of consciousness writing, which in this context, not a big fan. So I will not be reading that. And then I also obviously DNF'd this. I was also not a fan of the writing style for this. There was a lot of run-on sentences and it was very bland writing. Like the author, the main character would be like, I'm gonna go to my mom's house and open the windows, grab her keys, water her plants. Phrased exactly like that, and every single sentence was like that. And I just don't like how choppy that is. Like, I think I've spoken a couple of times about how certain writing styles really fuck up my dyslexia, and this was definitely one of them. So probably won't pick up another Nora Roberts because I imagine this is just how she writes. So that is that. But it is time for me to drop those off at the library, head back home, and enjoy the rest of my week. So thank you so much for watching. Love you, love you, love you. Bye.